when I was coming out of this 11 years, I was completely an adult who was back inwards, locking myself up in an atomic bunker, not having any attention to be damaged once again by humans, and I was full of hate, meaning full of poison. And I was ready to go in this world to destroy every human being I can get a hold on, a grip on. So coming out of this mess, my mother was in the meanwhile divorced. She was left alone in a little caravan, hungry. I started to take care of my mother in a strange way, because she was also betraying me. She couldn't save me. So actually I'm a bit fucked up in the past, and later on in life I need really healing, and I'm healed. Still, it's quite difficult to give this testimony. But on the moment I came out, I grew up taking care of my mother, meaning I start to be criminal. I have no affection or reason to follow orders or rules or whatever. I was liberating myself from this madhouse and starting to do nasty things in my youth already. I was playing with other children, being soldier, and I chose to be a Nazi on purpose. And I was making this march through the houses where all the old people are living, where they take care of the old people, and I knew they were out of the war. And I did it on purpose. I really start to beat people, to traumatize people because of my hate. Once I nearly killed an adult in that period. In school, same mess. My English was not developed on school. I was always kicked out. I had my diplomas, but I paid for them. Ha! Fuck you all. That was my mentality. So I became an independent entrepreneur, and I covered everything I wanted to do because I wanted to destroy, so that means I needed a lot of money. To get access to money, you need to deal. So in the front, I created companies like car dealer, import-export, even a fashion line distributing nice clothes for women. You know, it was all covers for the deeper things I did. That was being involved in criminal activities. And I have to tell one thing. All the criminal beings on this world, the normal criminals, so to speak, they hate only one thing, and that's pedophiles. It's only one thing. They can do whatever they want, but on the moment you're talking about child abuse, they explode. They really straight want to kill. That's the world I was in, criminals. I have to go back also about the pedophile thing, because she told me that there were investigations about pedophiles and all the humans who are doing horrible things with children, that they assume they are completely dead to do this, and that they need this extreme pulses to have something going on. Based on my own experience, I really start to believe it's actually a knowing, because it was also about my own story, that you're still alive even you do the horrible things on this planet, you're still alive. I recognize this, and I tell you more about my horrors I created, but the horrors they created on children, they are still alive. Their light is still in them. They're human, the love is still in them. But it's like mine, locked, completely locked in a bunker, atomic bunker. And they are afraid of the adults. They stop, their life was stopping like my life in the beginning. But they are pure, and I'm not defending them, because I think everybody is responsible for their acts on this planet. But they need a gate, they need a bridge to come over. And I want to invite all the people on this planet to come over this bridge of forgiveness. Because there is a whole army of people who want to take care of them, to heal. And of course, there are consequences of coming forward. But it's doable. The point is, they're locked up in their cells. They don't trust adults. And they're still human. In a way, they are human. And they need also affection. And the most safest way to get a bit of affection is through animals or children. I'm not talking now about the satanic part, about the normal part. So, one way or the other, in every human, I believe there is a child who is partly locked or completely locked, because we're running through a program. So in a way, who can proclaim on this earth, on this moment, that he is fully the being he was when he is born? Who can claim this? Who can proclaim this on this moment? Who is fully the light represented on earth? Who is the original being, without of being programmed, without of being hurt, without of being manipulated? The horror we are facing today is our horror. Because the world we are facing today is not because of the perpetrators. It's about the billions of people who are doing nothing. And it's not pleading guilty. No. It's about being unaware. Having said that, I developed myself in a criminal way, covered by shiny import, export, and so on. So I got, on a young age, I'm talking about roughly around 20, I had already these shiny things like cars you can only afford when you are rich. Start playing with, I played the Hollywood show, like the succeeded businessman when I was 20. And most of them say, he has rich parents, of course, because otherwise how can you afford this? But out of all this business, I started also be involved in currency trading of who was not with tax, black money. So I started to be making a little bit of business with money. And then one of the guys in Brussels, who was one of my partners in dealing with currencies, said, hey, you run around the clock daily with all your business and activities. Why don't you go in the money trading? We have license available and we can make a deal. And we did this through offshores, like nothing on your name. And it could be a nice career for you. There was one condition, a warning ahead. You have to put your conscience in the freezer. in minus 100 degrees. And I say, no problem. Hey, I'm nearly dead, so no problem. So I became, step by step, a servant of the big money, step by step. It was still taking some years to come in the higher regions. And I get more and more excitements, like from Russia, Secret Service. They printed better dollars, American dollars, than the American dollars who were circulating from the Federal Reserve. Better quality. And they were printed, made in the USSR. And we get the assignment, we get our commissions, and we get the assignment to dump this in the market through bigger drug dealers, people who are dealing with weapons, all kind of criminal activity. Because that was a smoothie way to get all these huge amounts of dollars in the market through the illegal channels floating around. And afterwards it was just a part of the game to have an economic war from Russia, USSR in that time, with America. And in the opposite way they did the same. But I didn't know that in that time. So as a youngster, like 24, 25, I was already messing around with economic wars worldwide. So after all these assignments, they start to spot you. Like, hey, here's a bright guy, he's always knowing his way, like hustling here, hustling there, playing with the rules. And then they start to invite you more and more for higher assignments. Then you start to work for banks, independent. You're doing the dirty work for central banks, for multinationals, for governments, for what they call now terrorist organizations, and all secret services. Hey, secret services? Yes. And then on top, like the peach or the fruit of the cake, churches.